Okay, so continuing on. Let's go here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so Jared, to sum up, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be the biggest. The second thing we're gonna see is probably the chairs or Marcel Brewer, the names. And I would take Marcel Brewer out of the paragraph because this I don't think this is quite working right now, unless the alternative is if you change the styling of this, it might be able to work. But if you were to do that, I might just do the M or the MA, but this doesn't feel, this maybe is worth a considerable thought. And then overall, just give it a little more space, like give yourself a little more buffer around your paragraphs and around your chairs. You know, this is pretty narrow here. So just give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Okay, so it's Jared. I'm gonna go to Connor. Connor, I think you have an InDesign file here, so let me come back to you in a bit at the end. Taylor. Okay, Taylor. Thank you. Okay, let me see. You have 2 pages here. I'm not sure what this second page is here, so I will just review the first page. And if you have another design you did, just send it to me, and I can take a look. So this is great. I would probably choose either the all caps or the title caps. This would be the title caps. Let me grab my pen. That looks like a paintbrush. Like, why would they make it look like a paintbrush if it's a pen? You know what I mean? Like, come on, people. Anywho, side note. So this is pretty intense. So I personally might go with the title case. However, this is, you know, your vision. So if you feel like this is going to get your message across, like you really want it to be bold and punchy and in your face, then I would probably go with this top version, but I would make mid-century modern design, all of it, all caps, or all of it title case. This alignment isn't really working for me with the left aligned here and the center alignment here. Can you do Command Z on this? Let me see. We cannot do Command Z. Can you believe that, people? No Command Z. Okay. So I would either choose left aligned or center aligned, and I personally would probably choose left aligned. So let's say you did that. Let's say you did the left aligned and then you did title cap. I think that could be really lovely, really lovely. I might go a tad smaller. It's a little bit, I know this is in the example video that I did, I had huge text as well. You could leave it, but you know, upon reflection, it feels like maybe we're taking something away from the chairs, possibly. Because I think we do want the central focus to be the chairs and the information. I really appreciate your organization here. I really like how the chairs are lined up here. I understand you were going for, you know, a little bit of dynamism, but I probably would keep these all in a line. I know it's not going to be, you know, the purpose of this is to communicate information. So of course we want it to be dynamic and interesting, but the real purpose here is to communicate something to the viewer. I really love how nice and punchy and large these images are. I would just make sure that they are consistently sized. So for example, this looks pretty large and this looks a little bit smaller. So let's say you move this chair up and this chair up. I would just make sure that the tops and bottoms of these chairs line up. This is still going to feel pretty small because the image itself is, the chair is quite live, whereas this chair is pretty heavy. So, just do the best you can. Do the best you can, but I would do that to just have it a little bit more clear to the audience what you'd like to communicate. And then with these headers, these are great. I would just left align these as well to have this along this path. And then I would probably take the whole thing. So you'll have your title here, and then maybe a tiny bit smaller, and then give yourself some space, like some space beneath your title. And then maybe you shift everything down, like you shift all of this down so that you have a little bit of space here. So maybe, I don't know, maybe like here. So you'd give yourself like, this might be too spacious, but play around and see, because then you'll have like block 1 and then block 2 of stuff. One thing you could add is possibly, once we have this organized a tiny bit more, you might be able to add a design element. Maybe there's a thick horizontal bar at the bottom, or maybe there's a thin line at the bottom horizontally, or maybe there's an outline around the page, or maybe we leave it as is. I'm not sure. So hopefully this helps, but great job, Taylor. All right, so let's move on to Natalia. Okay, so Natalia used color. Ooh. Okay, so Natalia, super creative, really nice job here. I like how you have these circles around here as design elements. The only thing overall here is that it's a little bit too cutesy for the topic at hand. So mid-century modern design is not known for being cutesy. So I would, if you're interested in using color, which it does seem, I would probably modify the color and just do maybe like a little bit less. I would probably take away these color blocks. And, maybe we can find another way to do color here. So you have this really interesting, wavy, fun, decorative elements here. So maybe if you look up mid-century modern color palettes, just Google it, pull one of those, and you could even use inspiration from here, but I would probably Google like mid-century modern color palettes. If you go a tiny bit more subtle or a tiny bit more bold in one of those directions, if you go to the extremes, it could be really, really powerful. But I would definitely get rid of for now. So think about that, but I would probably take these away because it's awfully distracting for me, at least. But what you could do is just keep these 3 here. This, definitely take away the outline. I would, oh wait, actually that's not an outline, is it? It looks like you may have used a drop shadow, but it might be my screen, I'm not sure. So I would remove that, and I would probably consider this headline here a little bit. I'm not sure about the typeface, but it's interesting. If you want to send me a message and let me know what typeface this is, that would be great. Uh, let's say we're going to keep this wavy element you have here, because I do think it has a really interesting, I like how you have like clear organized lines, like the dynamism happening here is really quite lovely. I think once you remove these color blocks, you're going to have a lot more focus on the chairs themselves, which is going to be powerful. And then the person can read the text, obviously. For the headline, what you could do is maybe it could fit like in two lines here ish, or maybe it would be a bit larger, fit here. And then the text and the visual behind it would kind of go together. And for this, actually, what you could also do is Google, mid-century modern typefaces, which I hadn't mentioned before, but you could do that and then think about that. And then also apply that typeface, whichever one you choose, to this. It's interesting how you've done this on the circle like that. I don't know how I feel about it. For now, let's leave it. If you take away the outline here and then maybe don't sit it directly on the line, but give it a little bit of, I wonder if you take away the outline, I wonder if you could leave it here, if that would work. Maybe try that and see what it looks like. I'm not sure if it will work or not, but you might be able to add like, maybe like just like a black curved line here. Like you can, using the Pathfinder tool in InDesign, you can actually just like copy and paste, like duplicate this circle and then get a little chunk out of it. We can talk about that later. But yeah, and then the next thing I would do is I would make these chairs a tiny bit smaller or the circles a little bit bigger. And I'm leaning towards the chairs being a little bit smaller just to give yourself a little bit of breathing room, right? Give yourself a little bit more white space around these. But this is great. The eye gets led around the page, so it's really a really excellent start. So good job. Let me stop the video real quick. I don't know how long that's been.